My name is Emily Gignac. I'm the Director of Faith Formation here at St. Matthew's, and today I'm going to be talking about the Eucharist. I grew up Catholic and was always raised going to Mass, but I really struggled with understanding the true presence of Jesus Christ in the Eucharist for many, many years. I would say it's the thing I doubted the most. I really struggled to understand how on earth it could be that Jesus really meant at the Last Supper to take this bread and somehow it becomes his body and the wine becomes his blood. It just didn't make sense to me. I didn't understand how that could work. It really bothered me for a long time. In high school is when I was really exposed to Eucharistic adoration for the first time. And I'm blessed to have gone to Xavier where they had us go to adoration every week. And during that time, I learned that adoration is just sitting in a chapel or church in front of the exposed host that has been consecrated into the body of Christ. And it's put in this golden sunshine thing called a monstrance. And you just sit there and pray with Jesus in front of you. And during these years is when I first started to experience his presence, started to feel like a sense of peace or belonging when I sat there. And it wasn't overwhelming all of the time, but it felt nice to be there. So I continued going. And in college, I made that more a part of my lifestyle. Going to a Catholic college, I was able to sit in front of the Blessed Sacrament in our adoration chapel. And once I became an adult, I really put this into practice in my weekly life and began going to adoration, not out of obligation, but out of a devotion and a sense of craving more of this feeling of the presence of God. Over the years, I began to understand it more and more, and in college, I studied the Gospels and theology, and that helped me to kind of wrap my head around this idea and what Jesus meant when he said, "Do this in remembrance of me." And over the years of being open to God's answer about this, I've been able to experience his presence more and more through sitting in adoration, through experiencing him in receiving the Eucharist, and through teaching others about what I've learned about the presence of God in the Eucharist. A few years ago, I had an overwhelming encounter with Jesus in the Eucharist. And this was during a year where I had devoted myself spiritually to a lot of discernment. And I was also doing a Marian consecration at that same time. So one night I went to Mass, and when I went up to receive the Eucharist, when I placed the body of Christ on my tongue, I felt incredible pain radiate from my mouth through my body. And when I received his blood in the cup, I could taste the iron in his blood. And I had never experienced anything like this before, but it was undescribable. For me, this was a small Eucharistic miracle that God allowed me to encounter. I share this because I don't think that God lets us experience these huge, eye-opening moments of his presence or his sovereignty for us to keep it to ourselves. I think these are things that he gives us to tell the world about who he is. So through many years of experience through Mass and adoration, I've come to know that Jesus Christ is truly present in the Eucharist. It is his body and blood. And I know that can sound crazy if that's not a belief that you currently have, but that's what I've come to know. Sitting in adoration is where I feel most at home in this entire world. It's not at my actual house or when I'm with friends or family or anything else. It's sitting in front of the Eucharist. That is where my soul feels like it is at home. It's like all of time and space disappear, and it's just you and Jesus. And I know right now we can't physically go to adoration. We can't even go to Mass. And that is so hard because we want to be with God right now during this difficult time, and we're forced to have that separation from the sacraments, right? And so I think it's a great time during this time of quarantine to really ask those big questions, to doubt, and to ask God, how could this possibly be real? If you are doubting the true presence in the Eucharist, now is the time to really pray about it. Ask questions to those who know or have experienced it. Look it up, research, or learn more about theology. And let him show you how he can reveal himself to you. Christ's presence in the Eucharist has gone from being my biggest doubt to my strongest belief. So I encourage you to just think about it. Be open to what God has for you in this incredible gift of the Eucharist. And don't stop searching for answers. Thank you for watching. We hope that all of you stay safe and healthy during this time. We hope to see you back here at church as soon as we possibly can. And from all of us at St. Matthew's, come grow with us.